Podcast episode 10, and today it's just going to be us three chickens, and we're going to have a catch up sort of with our training and nutrition. So let's dive right into it. Andy is in the UK. You've been there just about a week now.
Yep, just over a week. A week, I'd say.
Seems to be your life, sort of quarantining somewhere.
Well, I know, but you know, people who know me now, I'm pretty, as I've got older, get more reclusive. So I'm okay with quarantine. You know, I'll be able to get out, as I said, like, you know, I've had my COVID test now. So I'll be able to get out and, you know, explore a little bit for the countryside, go for a couple of walks now. So, but yeah, I'm lucky. Even in the UK, I have some gym equipment.
Yeah.
I've got benches by me. I've got the cables, bars.
Yeah.
So,
and that
I get by.
That just stays there, does it?
Yeah, that just stays here. Oh, Kat uses it when I'm back in Kenya. Yeah, we are going to be packing up a flat this month. Well, no, April next month. So everything's getting packed up. This will go into storage to decide what to do with it. Because Kat's going to come out to Kenya.
Nice.
So yeah, so a lot of this stuff will be packed up and go into storage. But you know, I'll have access to that storage, and it's, you know, for long periods in the UK, I'll probably break it out and, you know, move it in somewhere, put it back in storage before I leave. You know?
But now with gym equipment being very it's in demand, you don't sell them, keep them.
Exactly. You know, there's a catch-22. Like, you know, once COVID's a thing of the past, or every world gets used to it, gym equipment prices will drop. So maybe it's worth selling it now. But to be fair, I do like the fact that, you know, I've just got it, and I know Kat's gonna take some stuff with her up to north before she comes out and use that. But things like the cable station, you know, break it down. I can always fly out to Kenya. You know, it's not particularly heavy. You know, the only thing is, I've actually found some sea freight companies which are pretty cheap. Europe to Kenya sea freight. And you just put it in the back of someone's container and it gets broken out. You know, gym spare parts.
Yeah.
They don't take too much. So
well, you can never have enough gym equipment.
True.
No, exactly. Just keep extending my home gym in Kenya. Yeah, it'd be massive.
Like now with weights, like we're getting stronger, and we start every time we realize, maybe we should get.
Well, we need
more
more weights because when we're both deadlifting.
During pool days.
Yeah.
Then there's never enough to go around. But
no, it's a thing. Pool day is a trickier one, as in, you know, you get strong on pools quite quickly. But, you know, like here it's not particularly heavy, but it coincides with I'm on a deload anyway.
Yeah.
So it works out. Like, you know, I've got about 100 kg of plates here, but most of them are mix and match. Some of them are concrete, plastic covered one. Some are cast iron. You know, the problem with the plastic coated ones is, that they take up a lot of space on a bar.
Yeah, that's true. So you're in a deload. That's very handy. Was that planned, or did it just happen to fall that way?
Yeah.
No, just have it fall that way. I would have made it a deload anyway. You know, it just happened to be fortuitous. It was at the correct time, but no, I would have probably switched it around, just either deloaded earlier or later, just to coincide, because it's just the easiest way. I'll probably end up doing like a 2-week deload. Yeah, or like this week a deload, and maybe next week a semi deload, where I'll just add maybe a bit more volume, but keep reps high and weight low. So yeah, I mean, almost like a primer for when I get back.
Yeah.
Because I got to start a new block when I get back to Kenya, so
I
just, you know, prime myself.
But you're done with your mini cut now.
Yes and no. I would have been done if I'd been in Kenya, but we decided just to extend it until I get back to Kenya.
Okay.
Because as we decided, it was like we keep to the mini cut. We just keep in the deficit. Get back to Kenya, where I have access to heavier weights. then up the food with the training, essentially.
Yeah.
Rather than there's no point, when you got light weights having a surplus of calories.
Yeah.
When you don't have the equipment to really push it, you might as well just take a couple of extra pounds off, and
Yeah. So how long has it been on the mini cut?
It was 8 weeks the other week, and we've lost like 17, 18 pounds. It'd be about 20 pounds. It probably was close to 20 pounds. I didn't do the math on it, but by the time I get back, it'd be just over 20 pounds loss in about 10 weeks, I think.
And how aggressive has it been?
Not very.
Okay.
Calories are at the lowest now at 2,300.
Okay.
That's quite manageable. Because of my my diet setups with relatively higher fats, you can actually do quite a lot without changing food volume. You lose calories without changing food volume by just reducing some of those fats. A little bit of fat change and some carb changes, and my protein stayed the same. We haven't reduced protein at all. So my protein is relatively high. So we've just sort of tweaked the fats and the carbs. But when you reduce fats, because it's like 9 calories per gram of fat, you get more bang for your buck. So there's that benefit to having a relatively high fat approach versus higher carbs.
Definitely. I think that's quite I think that's a good sort of topic to talk about here, because it really does. You don't notice if you've cut out a tablespoon of olive oil here or there.
Exactly.
And again, likewise, I think if you're going the other way, if you're now going back into sort of a maintenance or surplus, adding in that extra tablespoon of olive oil.
That's the thing. You're not increasing. You're not increasing volume that much. So, like when you're bulking, you can increase calories without getting really full. And actually, as you said, most of my added fats are via a tablespoon of olive oil or macadamia nut oil, where you don't notice it. But when you are eating a lot of food, it actually helps the food go down a bit better.
Oil's the way.
Especially with a bit of rice. Once you add the chicken, a bit of rice, it becomes a little bit more
yummy.
Slides down. It just slides down. Like that.
Yeah. And you're still on track for the shows. I've seen you posting some stuff on
Yes. So really exciting. Really exciting in the UK for October. So the amateur Olympia's been got rid of for that weekend. They're doing the Arnold instead. So that's exciting because it's the Arnold Classic UK, and it's the first time Europe's had a proper Arnold Classic. There's the Arnold in Spain, but it's not a proper Arnold. This one is promoted by Arnie and Eddie Hall, or Eddie Hall's company. He does with the other guy and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's gonna be as good as like the Australian one or the one in Brazil or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be pro competition. There's gonna be the pro show. There's going to be the amateur shows on the days before. I spoke to two bros who promote it, promote the actual bodybuilding. And because I live in Kenya, I don't have to do any pre-qualifiers. You don't need to do a pre-qualifier for masters, but I was discussing the problem with the masters, classic masters, is I won't go into the overall if I want it anyway.
Oh, it's just one.
So I will do 2 classes. I'll do my height open class, so that'd be up to I've got to re-measure my height, but it's probably 5'10", so I get to be 197 pounds on stage, 195 to 197, something like that. And then I'll do that and the masters, and the masters is just one open class. So various sizes, just everyone. There's 2 masters classes. There's an over 35s and over 40s. So I'll do that, and then I'll do the other class, because it's nice. Because even if you do a master show and say you won or you come second, first, it's nice to see where you would come with people of all age groups.
Sure.
So the only thing is you got to pay for that, but and as you know, like the NPC shows are the most expensive registrations.
I know.
It's like 170. I think for this show it's £176 per class. So yeah, so that's like 20 odd thousand shares to 200 like $10-20 a class. But yeah, so but yeah, do that, and then I'll just hang around and watch the rest of the expo, and it'd be nice. Hopefully, yeah, COVID to be on the back burner then. But yeah, so that's the aim. And then around that time, I'll try and do a PCA show because they owe me one from last year. For one that got cancelled.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a class. So that was So I've got to find out from them. I think there's a week before the Arnold. There's a PCA London show.
Okay.
So I'll enter. I'll see if I can switch to that. So the first show will be then like the last weekend of September, and the following week we're peak for the Arnold.
Yeah. It's weird because yesterday we were talking with JP about shows I wanted to do after I wrote I'm not planning. So he just out of the blue he asked, "Oh, are you looking to do the Amateur Olympia again this year?" And in my head I'm thinking, "Oh, should I fall into the pressure of the coach?" And I'm like, "Not really, but I can think about it." But
Not this year.
But there must have been. But for him to even suggest it, maybe he thinks you can do it.
I know because
He's not someone who would suggest a show that he didn't think you'd be competitive in.
That's true.
Yeah, but I'll wait for his reply, but I told him maybe this year, maybe next. I don't know. My mind is really set to like next year and beyond. Like I
get that.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the off season, the coaching, the learning about the eating, the way.
Well, it feels like you're
things.
prepping. My goodness.
Oh yeah, it kind of does. But yeah, it's I'm just in that space where I'm happy learning. Just training, and I think.
But yeah, it's a good time to talk about your training. Where your sort of calories at? Are you sort of in a sort of recomp phase?
It's still,
he's in such a weird phase.
Yeah, it's a cut pretty much. So
it's a sneaky cut.
Yeah, we're still dropping fat. So it's more of a macro approach. To be honest, the calories I only check when it's changed. So via my fitness pal. So it's a very macro approach because before I started, he said my complete proteins were too low. So
how much protein are you on?
Last I checked was 310 on training days and about 290 there on rest days.
So why don't you explain what a complete protein is?
So
I think that would be useful.
So in terms of the complete protein in my fitness pal, you know how you record your total protein. So from veggies, your starch, so
broccoli,
everything. So for this one, it's more just from the meat sources. So
yeah, exactly. And that's how it kind of should be, I suppose.
Eggs.
Yeah, with all the amino acids.
Full amino profile.
Exactly. So we really switched that. So now when it comes to like the macro approach, we do not really consider the protein from the oats, the rice. So it was a really mindset shift for me because even when I do I check on my fitness pal, I have to remember.
Don't count.
I'm considering this protein from, pretty much chicken, beef,
eggs.
And eggs. But now I'm off the eggs for a while because I think I had too much. So in the mornings, I couldn't really get an appetite. So he switched my...
eggs are a bit like that because it's a slow digesting protein, I suppose. So leave you a bit locked up.
All the more for me.
I couldn't, it reached a point, man, that 10 eggs just felt like I was having like a super huge meal, but it was more so I just didn't have the appetite for the eggs.
That's whole eggs,
Yeah, 3 whole eggs, 7 whites. But if I had them at night, I was good. So
Yeah.
just switch that. But it's been nice to just learn how bodybuilding approach in terms of macros is very different from day to day general population. So
yeah, my protein's gone up a lot. As I was saying, mine's about I think my total protein 276 grams a day, but nearly all of my protein's from whole foods anyway. Because of the way I structure my meals. Like at the moment, I'm on turkey mince and beef mince with vegetables and rice. But when I calculate it, I get over 250 grams just from meat sources.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But because I think me and Clea pretty much eat the same thing. So she is, but hers is she gets to have the pancakes. She's enjoying the
finer things.
I enjoy the finer things in life. Yes.
Yeah, but it's been good. We've had like since the year started, eaten the same thing, except maybe on 3 occasions, one burger and just sushi. So when people are wondering, how do you do it? It's like it's almost normal.
Well, this is the thing, and I was trying to explain this to someone the other day. Yes, it's monotonous, but that's the point. You've got to take the enjoyment out of monotony. If you aren't someone who enjoys being bored, and to a certain extent, you get bored of being in a bulk. This is how the conversation. They want to cut, and I was like, no, you're not ready to cut because your condition's still good. So why would we suddenly cut with a fear of losing tissue when we could capitalize a couple, 2-3 more weeks?
Yeah.
They say, I'm fed up of bulking, and you may be fed up of bulking. This is the thing. And so the reality is, everyone's fed up of bulking by the end. But those last few weeks, you just got to kind of dig in, and that's the hard bit. That is a whole hard bit of bodybuilding. It's not the cutting, because the cutting you get a little bit tired, but at least you're seeing changes in abs and everything else.
Yeah.
With bulking, you're trying to get to a point where once a condition fades, then cut it back. But until that point, if you're getting away with keeping relatively decent condition and growing, you need to capitalize on that. And and it's boring. It's boring stuff in your face 6 times a day, boring. But it's a necessity.
Yeah, true.
It's so true. Like, because I generally just take pictures of my food every day. Someone's like, you literally eat the same thing every day. I'm like, yeah, and it's great. You can just change it around. I eat the same thing, but I'll mix it around in the day. But it makes your life easier.
Yeah,
and you're getting everything you need in.
Well, that I like. I also like eating out of Tupperware because it saves washing up.
Saves washing, yeah. Leonie.
Oh yeah, when I mean the fries we make, the air fried ones.
Yeah.
Just come out, crunchy and dry. So
nice, delicious.
I don't need a plate.
Yeah.
But it's weird. We were with friends and guys were like, Clea, your food is the same every day. Like, okay, there's a bit of yogurt here and there. And when they heard mine, they were like, okay, maybe hers is not so bad.
Well, this was interesting because JP did a post and he said, this style is not for everyone.
True.
And it is very regimented. You eat at a certain time, you're eating certain things. If you do have underlying disordered eating, this
it's not for you.
Not for you at
definitely.
all. And even Leon suffers on it sometimes. It's hard.
Those days, I think even last week was the worst, and I was just like, man, another rice and chicken, pasta and mince. But
because it's not even flexible dieting.
No, because I think people assume where there's a super mindset, but honestly, we also go through the motions up and down, and you're like, man, I could do with a.
Yeah, that's the thing though, and it's not for everyone. That's and JP's right, and you guys are right. If I always say this to people, if bodybuilding was if bodybuilding was easy, everyone would walk around looking huge and jacked, and everyone would look like how they want to look because it'd be easy. Fact is, it's not, and that's half the joy of it. That's a lot of what goes into it with discipline. Constant relentless pursuit of goals where everything's the same. You do little changes maybe every day, like to lifting, but everything's essentially the same.
Yeah, true. Yeah, even with our training, it's been the same. Strength's been going up as much as protein is still way high, but I'd say calories are going lower, but getting stronger every day. So in a way, I guess that extra weight I was carrying, it played a part, but now it's where I'm at a place where I don't really need that extra fat. So
yeah, I agree. If you don't need it, come on.
Yeah, it's good to learn, and it's just nice to learn how like he takes his athletes through the off season, and yeah, I'm enjoying it on most days, 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is, and again, the days you don't enjoy it, those hard days, it's because it's hard. But when you get through those, you feel successful. What you don't want to do, and this is, must be horrible to be in this position. Know when you're on stage, you didn't do everything you could do, and so when you come, imagine coming second, and you come second, and you've just been beaten by one person. But the difference between you and them is the fact that they did everything they could to win that show. You've done the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And how you won't be able to, not necessarily won't be able to live with yourself, but you'd always have those doubts, knowing that you maybe a couple of days you cheated on your diet, or a couple of days, you didn't eat enough meals in the off season. You'd be like, oh, if only I'd eaten, those meals. And it may or may not have an effect, but the reality is it will play on your mind. You won't be able to stand there and know you did everything you could.
Yeah, no, and again, that kind of highlights the differences between bodybuilders with physique goals to sort of general population. Like if you want to be like Andy and Leon with, stepping on stage competition, we always say this, it is different. You do need that approach. If you don't have a competition or anything like that, you can be more flexible. It is more sustainable.
Although you are right, but here's the thing. People look on Instagram and stuff, and they look at pro bodybuilders or like Men's Physique or Classic and fitness women. They want that look, but want to do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Realizing that person is doing this really regimented approach. You don't need to do that, but you won't also look like that.
Yeah.
You've got your anabolics, everything else, but you take that out, you look at the best natural bodybuilders. They are working extra hard to get to that level because they're not using anabolics. For you to get to look like them, realistically, you should be doing the same stuff. People want to look like that without doing the hard one.
I guess that's where you have to be sort of honest with your goal setting, where you're like, okay,
very honest.
I want
very realistic.
Yeah, I want this.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to do all that. I'm ready to do this. So
what are you willing to do? And if you're not willing to do the hard stuff, then don't set your bar so lofty. Have realistic goals and say, all right, I just want to lose this amount of body fat, or I want to see some abs, or I want to see some shoulders. Get to that point, on what you can do, and that's fine. But don't say, I want to look like this guy, some guy shredded, stage lean. To get like that, you've got to prep and get stage lean. And that's not healthy anyway. So, I wouldn't suggest that to a normal person who just wants to look stage lean to go maybe just wander around or go on holiday or something. That's a reality.
Big time.
Yeah, because even because like now we're on like high frequency training pretty much, because it's just push, pull, rest, legs, and sometimes you have guys asking what everyone is used to the Monday to Friday approach, someone comes and you try and tell them, okay, you want to bring, especially with guys trying to do bodybuilding, and you want to bring certain body parts up, and you introduce a sort of high frequency type of training, and you realize the guy is just getting smashed and smashed. And that's when you sort of have to tell the person, you see, you've been training, but you've not really been pushing yourself, that
Yeah.
hard as per your goals. So it's
People have to realize, I get this a lot. I'm getting niggles and stuff. My legs aching or my shoulders aching. Yeah, it will do, because now you're starting to push for training how you're meant to.
Yeah.
That's why you deload every 5 weeks, because your body starts breaking down. And that's just to be expected. But because a lot of people have never pushed themselves, they've never felt that before. So when they panic. They think they're getting injured, when actually it's just the aches. It's just like, wear and tear. And, your knees will hurt after doing heavy squats or, but they go back. It's when it's persistent and goes on for weeks on end, or, and it's sharp pains. It's different. But when it's just like annoying, like aches, like you go move your arm and you're like, oh yeah. There's a difference, but again, yeah, as you said, there's something I always ask people I train. It's like, what's your non-negotiables? Is there one meal you do every week that's really important to your mental health? Like you meet up with friends on a Sunday, and if you're not getting ready for competition, we will factor it always in. We'll structure the week actually around that brunch or that lunch or that burger meal you have on a Friday with your mates and a couple of beers. We'll base the whole rest of the week around that, like including the training. If you go out drinking on a Friday, and that's your main thing, meeting up with your mates, having a burger, a few beers, we won't train. We'll have Saturday as a rest day, because what you don't want is dehydrated muscles and ligaments in a gym setting where you're likely to get injured.
Yeah.
So you keep alcohol away from that sort of training the next day.
Yeah, and you have that Saturday to recover, and with your Friday, it's sort of a mental health day you've had. So Saturday rest, Sunday back.
Then Sunday you should be raring to go.
And I think that's such a great approach. But when someone starts their health and fitness, they're like, what? I can do that? And you're like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Yeah.
You can do that. And that will just make you adhere more to the whole plan, rather than you saying, no drinking.
Yeah. You're looking forward to your Friday. And again, someone might say, I like to have a glass of wine after work every day of the week. That's also fine, as long as we've calculated that into your daily consumption of calories. You don't get anything from alcohol per se, but if that helps you unwind after one glass, you're allowed to have it, so don't feel guilty. We just structure everything else on it.
Yeah, a glass and not a bottle.
And then,
exactly. Don't lie about it.
I know.
And then also you be realistic. You're like, alcohol is not generally the best thing to be having. So, but if you're okay with that you might not get to a certain performance or as quickly as you would if you didn't drink. You're okay with that. It's always going into these things with your eyes open.
The thing people have to realize, if you've got lofty ambitions, you want to look like a guy who's on stage, or you want to compete, that's where the difference comes in. Because if you just want to be fit and healthy and look good naked, you can do a lot with having still a social life. And you shouldn't be depriving your family and friends of social occasions just to lose a bit of body fat, because you can structure it around that. But on the other hand, if you are going to compete, or you really do want to look absolutely shredded for a photo shoot or something, there will be sacrifices, and you got to know which one you want more. What's more important to you, looking shredded, being on stage, or that night out with your friends? Now, if the night out with your friends is more important, that's cool, but don't expect to be able to do the other. And that's just realities,
Yeah, it is. And I mean, that's where I got to with my cut. It got to a point where, like, I'm not competing. It's like, I don't want my calories to go anywhere. I was like,
no.
Well, just end it then,
But now you're an Instagram model.
I know.
You're on Instagram in your pants.
I'm
In your
sorry.
underwear.
To be done at some. You're always in your pants.
I'm always in my pants. But that's when you get your most. Bet your ass got your most likes of all your posts. If you go across your posts, I bet your ass got more likes than all the others.
I'm even surprised the bio hasn't changed yet. You know,
Exactly.
Instagram.
Hashtag model. Hashtag blessed.
Woke up like this. But
But yeah, it was well for her. It was crazy because during the bulk, she had a lot of food. I was shocked, and just to get over that mindset of there's a bigger picture, which is also, I guess, very inspirational for a lot of females. Just thinking of the bigger picture.
Yeah. And I think the important thing is Clea's right. When you're cutting, unless you're competing, there's a healthy level of fat loss for women. Mm-hmm. Women are meant to carry a little bit more fat than men for healthy hormone production. You're not expected to be shredded the whole time because you start switching off certain processes, menstrual cycle, etc. So it's about being aware of that, and keeping into a nice healthy shape, lean enough that you're happy, you feel confident in the way you look, but also whilst being healthy. And I think that's more important for women than it is men. But even men, when we get really low body fat, things like testosterone starts down regulating and other sex producing hormones, and that's why libido turns off. And so even for men, there is a healthy, there's a lower floor you should be reaching, unless you're going to that next level.
Yeah, because the last 3 weeks before the show, when you're that contest lean, you don't want to do anything. You're done.
And you've really got and again, like I was not where I wanted to reach, but I wasn't going to sacrifice more calories to get there. So I was like, better to come up, spend more time at maintenance, and then go back in, and then you can diet on more calories.
Exactly.
And, it's just like Leon just said, you've got to take that long-term view. I mean, this can take years. And
well, that's the thing. Muscle building is the important bit for women.
Yeah.
Because once you've got the muscle, that uses more calories day to day. So therefore, your maintenance is higher. So when you do cut, you cut down, and you will look better. You will look leaner just because you actually have more muscle. So you're burning more calories naturally. And I think the problem is people see people on Instagram who are on anabolics where the rules don't quite apply the same.
Yeah,
there's still a certain amount of levels there, but the reality is they're that lean and surviving because of they're taking exogenous hormone instead of production natural hormone, but it's exogenous. So the reality is they can get away with, guys can walk around looking super shredded and still have a libido and everything else because they're putting it back in. Reality being is, to do that naturally, you won't get as lean and feel as great. That's just how it is. Same with women.
Yeah, and again, is it worth it being that miserable on low calories and potentially ruining your relationship with food? You're probably not having much of a social life, and
you're not a competitor.
You're not a competitor. You're
you get nothing for it, really. Because here's the thing: how many people are going to see you naked? You see yourself naked, but so there's a point where you're confident enough, where you like your own body, and that should be sort of your ceiling, your limit, really. But the fact is, being super lean isn't the healthy for humans. We're not meant to be walking around like we're like starving, right? And and that is a thing. It's and you see people on diets day to day that are miserable doing cleanses and diets and stuff, where because their calories are so low, their brain doesn't have enough glycogen and fats to work. Organs aren't getting enough nutrients to actually be working optimally. We're lucky that our bodies are pretty efficient and are able to survive even in the harshest conditions. Because otherwise, some of these diets would just straight out kill people.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're just making ourselves. It's like people who go swallow tapeworms to lose weight. How bad must you really want to lose weight to be able to put a parasite in you, which is going to affect the whole rest of your body? Like things like everything from skin quality, hair quality. So there is that thing. It's like, where are you comfortable with? Where are you confident with? What's the reality? Your reality. So.
And the reality is, like, to get to where you want to go, it can take a really, really long time, and nobody wants to hear that. No
one ever wants to hear, because it's the one question everyone asks, but when you tell them the truth, it's like, crap. Okay, how long did it take you? I've been doing this for 8, 10, 12 years, and you get that look of,
But it's not like, even I work with a lot of women, like reverse dieting, women who are chronic dieters. And I'm like, this is not your 12-week program. It can take 6 months. Like, I would love you to be at your maintenance for 6 months before you even think about going into a deficit again.
And that's real maintenance. And this is the problem. Yes. People skip meals. People skip meals because they want to lose weight. People do all this other stuff on dieting, when actually hitting your true maintenance is a good first step. And then increasing things like protein, increasing your calories a lot of weight, because the reality is people don't actually want to lose weight. They tell themselves they're trying to lose weight. But actually what they're trying to do is recompose their body. They want to look, they want to lose body fat from here and have curves like for women, or all this, and a lot of that is actually building muscle. And to build muscle, you need to be in a surplus. And that's the reality. And the smaller that surplus is, the longer it's going to take. Yeah. And so, like women, I want to grow glutes and I want abs. Well, which one do you want first?
Yeah.
Choose one.
Yeah.
Because there's a thing. Unless you're completely untrained, it's going to be hard to get both at the same time. Or unless you're taking some sort of exogenous hormone.
Yeah. Need to go on that surplus, grow the glutes, then go on that deficit.
Well, that's what I would do. I'd say, let's up your calories. Well, let's keep your maintenance for a couple of weeks. Get used to eating the maintenance, and we're going to start eking up your calories and increasing your training. Progressive overload on the glutes, and do a glutes and hammies day, upper body day, quads and calves day, rest and repeat.
Yeah.
So you're doing two glute sessions a week in a surplus. Then you're gonna get some glutes.
Yeah.
But you won't have abs. So well.
Yeah, a lot of women would really benefit from, just eating more, especially with the fact that they can handle even more volume of training as compared to men. But
recovery is better.
Women eating very little, doing the high volume, and then that just dips your recovery, and you wonder why, things are not going. And the moment you just start, I guess, reverse dieting or eating more at your maintenance, you just realize
it's scary for many women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I was going to say, it is scary, especially when no one's ever maintenance. You've got really bad food habits, and then you get them on maintenance, and we feel like they're pigging out. And then that's psychologically, because they've got a bad relationship with food. They feel like they're eating too much. We start worrying, doing extra cardio that you don't know about as a coach.
Yeah.
So you do have to have this chat. That very few, and I'll say this, very few, there are people who do need to prioritize weight loss initially. Morbidly obese people, but it's having an impact on their health. There, straight away, you need to get that fat removed. But half the time, it's not getting them to eat less; it's getting them to cut out the bad habits. Restructuring it so you get out the bad. Because what they're doing is probably not eating all through a day, getting to night, being starving, have a meal, and then going, all right, I'm still hungry. I'm going to raid the fridge.
Binge.
I'm going to eat some chocolate because I'm feeling tired, lethargic. I'm going to eat this this chocolate or something to give a bit of energy, sugary energy, instead of just having structured meals throughout the day, which gives them constant energy, you know. So it's reality.
It is.
Like, what you've said is it's very important because everyone, well, even men sometimes, the goal is weight loss, fat loss, and they come to you expecting for you to, cut food immediately down. And sometimes it's, you just need to increase your movement, your steps. You need to walk more, move a bit more. You need to,
100%.
yeah, like you say, change your habits.
Yeah, just have simple nutritional habits.
Yeah,
consistent, balanced meals.
Which comes with a lot of work trying to change people's mindsets
and training, and training properly. Once people are training properly, and putting their all into training, you're burning more calories. When people are half-assing their training, we don't burn a lot of calories in training. We're not. And then, as I say, when you combine that with your general sort of steps and walking around and making people aware they're neat. So if someone works in an office, I'll say, try and take some. If you're in an office on your own or you're working from home, get a wireless headset, and during Zoom meetings, if you don't have to be on camera,
walk
around. I do it. I'll pick up my laptop and walk with it around the lounge a little bit, as long as I'm not on camera, because we'll get a standing desk for a little bit of a day. And a desk that you can adjust to seating to standing, because it's good to just be more aware of how much movement you're actually doing, and little habits like for people who commute to work. Getting off, like in the UK, like get off a couple of stops early and get off the bus or whatever and walk the rest of the way. So you get like a 10-15 minute walk in before work, and you do similar later, and then you've already got 30 minutes of extra walking that you wouldn't have had anyway.
I mean, the power of just moving more
100%
underestimated. And again, like both of us in the deficit, we didn't do any extra sort of cardio, traditional sort of cardio. We just increased steps. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You can do that. I mean, obviously, we always say cardio is, it's good for. It is good for you to do it. But you don't need to go crazy.
Yeah.
I always keep it in cardio, not for weight loss. I keep it in the off season for heart health for people. Like if you're bulking, do cardio because it improves your appetite, but we just increase your calories accordingly. And same with when cutting, there's always going to be cardio, but that's not for you to lose weight on. We account that into the calories. That is just for heart health and keeping your metabolism going and everything else that's linked to exercise. But we talk about mindful eating all the time. People talk about mindful eating, being aware of what you're eating, how you're consuming it. But mindful movement is as important. People just don't realize they've been sitting on the sofa for 4 hours. They've barely moved. Like on the weekend, they stick Netflix on, lay down, chill, and then they, do you want to continue watching this show? And you just realize you've gone halfway through a season or something. You've not left the sofa. That you've got to be mindful. Like during prep, that's something I've got to bring back this year. I've got to get a spin bike, because what I used to like doing is of an evening when I'm trying to chill out, putting something on Netflix, but instead of just sitting there, being on a spin bike and just keep your legs going as you watch it.
There's a bike thing I saw on it was a trainer's page when he was doing his prep. So you get the pedals. It's just the pedal, like the pedal structure, and then it comes with its resistance. So as his cardio was, he'd sit on the couch and you have the pedal, so you can set it up however you want. And then
that's brilliant.
As he's doing his check-ins with clients,
he's just pedaling.
And then he times it with his watch, his alarm, and I was like, that's nice. So even when he's watching his Netflix and it's cardio time, puts the pedal, leans back on his couch, and you just go.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I borrowed a spin bike from FitRev, and I could fit my laptop on the handlebars. So I could actually do some work. I used to do a bit of work in the evening and pedal at the same time.
Yeah, because
it's a no-brainer, isn't it? If you have a treadmill at home or anything, just catch up with your series and get in 30. I mean, seriously, perfect. 'Cause it's what, generally 45 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly. Watch a couple of episodes, you know you've done hour and a half of cardio.
And I think even a lot of these cardio machines, because everyone just calls them like cardio machines. But for some busy people, if you're busy, it's another nice way to just get your NEAT up. So,
Yeah.
on a treadmill, walk, cycle, and it doesn't have to be, hardcore cardio and running.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's
So-
not.
It
Clear.
doesn't and hit.
So I think also people need to get that. You can use the machines to get your activity levels up, your movement up. So it's just that change of mindset, I guess, that has to come with it.
Yeah.
And I think we've spoken about this before. Good thing about especially steps is that you don't have to worry so much about recovery. Like today, I'm going to go for a 4-hour hike, right? And I'm not going to be going. It's relatively flat, so I'm not going to be. So it's relatively flat, so I'm not going to be sort of stressing my legs and everything else. So tomorrow, I shouldn't feel, apart from maybe some general aches and strains of my age, I shouldn't feel like I've done anything too strenuous.
Yeah.
It shouldn't impact on my training. So.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And that's actually why I took cardio out at the end of my deficit, because I wasn't recovering and it was impacting my strength training. And to me, the strength training sessions were more important than the cardio. So I just increased my steps because I can recover from that easily. It does take more time, than a HIIT session or a MIT session, but yeah, you can recover from it.
And it's good psychologically too. You get that time to just...
Yeah.
Especially if you're outside in nature, your blood pressure comes down and everything else that's associated with being out in nature.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I think that was a good catch-up session.
Yeah.
And Andy, I hope you enjoy the rest of your quarantine.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it sunny there? You can see it. Glare.
Grey today. It's been sunny and cold, and then sometimes it's grey, a little bit warmer. Yeah, that's okay. I don't think it's great weather, but hopefully it stays okay.
For hiking, you don't want it hot.
Yeah.
Don't want it hot. Exactly.
Well, I hope you have a very nice hike. It sounds beautiful. And well, I guess there's no pub lunch at the end, sadly.
No, exactly. But that's okay. I'm going to take my Tupperware with me, carry some meals, have a little picnic. Can have a picnic. Cat be able to have a little bit more, and then she'll have some fruit and stuff, and I'll have my beef and rice or turkey mince and rice at the moment.
Oh, nice. That's very nice. Well, I hope you enjoy it.
What you guys got doing for the rest of the day?
Well, we trained early.
I've already trained yet.
What was we doing?
Yeah, I just have to work on a few programs, just a few adjustments for clients next week, and then get back to Call of Duty practice and stuff.
You need a pedal for Call of Duty.
If you get too stressed, you'll be like, yes.
I know it's intense. I cycle and shoot, but yeah, it's I'll just do a bit of programming adjustments here and there. I haven't gotten my steps. She went early because I had a call with a client. So
evening steps.
Yeah, get some steps in. It's just an easy Saturday, so to speak. Nothing.
Nice.
I'll try swim in the evening if I don't get to meet my steps. So a few lazy laps, but yeah, pretty much.
Well, it's supposed to rain today, which would be nice because it's very humid.
It was very hot when I left, as in like it. But again, it rains and gets hot, and it rains and gets hot.
It's just been hot.
The rain would be lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It's been super hot.
Alrighty, well, we will catch everybody next week.
Yeah.
And hope everyone has a good day.
Do some case studies, yeah? Yeah, might put it on
See.
Instagram, see what guys saying, yeah?
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Yeah, alrighty.
We'll put it out to the gram.
We'll put it out there in your underwear, then you'll get lots of likes.
Yeah, see, it might get people to
send a question, you get a picture of me in my underwear.
Our podcast,
I get no questions.
professional pictures will all be in our underwear.
Oh yeah,
We will
have
be
to.
the #1 podcast in Africa then.
Yeah, we'll probably get an intro done with the camera showing off the abs. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
We'll dream about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, nice one, guys. All right, see you later.